This is the Dog Sitter's House podcast. If you find yourself getting anxious during meet and greets or after them while you're waiting to hear back on whether or not that person is going to book with you, stay tuned, because by the end of this episode, I'm going to show you how you can emotionally detach in a healthy way so that you're not relying on the outcome and you're attracting your ideal pet business customers. Why is detaching from the outcome important? Because when you are less overly invested in the outcome, you are much less likely to throw out some crazy discount deals all of a sudden, or exceptions to your rules and policies. Maybe you tend to find that as soon as they're like, oh, you only open at 8, I really want to drop my dog off at 7:30. And then you're going, oh, okay, I can do that. And only wake up to regret it every morning that you have to get up and be ready by 7:30. It also keeps you in a position of power psychologically. When you are attached, you have an underlying anxiety that people can feel. When you are detached from whatever the outcome may be, then you have an underlying sense of confidence that people can feel, which is exactly what attracts your ideal clients and instills confidence in them that you are the professional to go to, the top dog CEO. Not only that, but it actually repels the clients you don't want because they are looking for somebody they can push over, who they can bend the rules, make a few exceptions, lower the price a little bit with. But that is not going to be you once they feel the confidence exuding from all of your pores. Pardon me while I interrupt this broadcasting for a quick announcement. I am looking for some people, some brave, courageous pet business owners who would like to sit down with me on a Zoom call, recorded, and have a one-on-one coaching session for free. Now, the caveat is you will be on my YouTube channel, but it's super easy. I'll walk you through it. We're not going to dive into anything that's going to be too embarrassing or personal. And if we do, we can always edit it out. So if you are interested in getting a free live coaching session with me that would be aired on the channel, then please make a message down in the comments section and I'll be sure to send you my contact info on where you can sign up. Or you can go over to Conscious Pet Sitter on Instagram or Facebook and DM me a message. Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Okay, the first tool in the toolbox to detaching from the outcome of meet and greets in your pet business is to have non-negotiable limits. This begins with the scheduling of the meet and greet itself. You need to determine when are the best days and windows of time for you and your business and the dogs within your business. If you're doing at-home doggy daycare or boarding, if you're going to the client's home, then you just need to figure it out what's best for you usually with your schedule and standardize when these meet and greets are, or change it up based on your schedule at the time. But first and foremost, you decide when you are available. When you go to set the appointment, you don't flex, you don't accommodate every single person's request for a meet and greet. If you don't like doing them on Saturday and Sunday, then you tell them, I only do them on Monday through Friday at such and such times, or I only have Tuesday the 22nd available between yada, 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 or the 24th available on Thursday between yada, yada, yada. You tell them when you are available. Now, this might sound like, but April, if I'm not accommodating and these people can't get in to see me for a meet and greet, then I'm going to lose the business. No, you're not. And I'll tell you why through a little analogy. Imagine you need to get your hair cut. You know that you could go to Great Clips at any time, any day, and go get your hair cut. But you also know the quality of that haircut is probably not going to be the same quality as your amazing salon stylist that you prefer to go to. Now, you call up your amazing salon stylist who, colors and styles your hair just right every single time, and she's only available 3 weeks from now on a Tuesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Tell me, are you going to move mountains to get that appointment with your hairstylist, or maybe wait a couple weeks longer to get another appointment that fits your schedule better? Or are you going to run to Great Clips for a buzz cut? Because chances are you're going to do whatever it takes to meet your stylist's schedule to get the best of the best hairdos. And the same thing goes for quality, ideal pet business clients. They will jump through hoops to fit your schedule when you tell them when you are available for a meet and greet, not the other way around. And if they don't, and they choose to go with someone else, then chances are you just dodged a bullet, because you just dodged a client who is more about their needs versus their dogs, which usually means that they're looking for cheap and flexible people who they can cross boundaries with. Not only this, but by having non-negotiable limits shows the client right from the beginning of communicating with you that you're going to be a business owner with boundaries, and that they need to follow those boundaries. They need to follow those policies, rules, and business hours, because you're not one to give. And again, if they want a pet sitter who jumps when they say jump, let them go find someone else. This also speaks volumes about the quality of your service. Because if you were to just be a people pleaser and move everything around in order to pencil them into your busy schedule to fit their schedule instead of yours for the meet and greet, this is going to tell them that you are desperate for business, which creates question marks in the back of the possible client's mind that maybe, just maybe, your service is not highly sought after for a reason. Okay, the second tool in the toolbox of making sure you stay detached from the outcome of a meet and greet is to have questions. Prepare questions before the meet and greet. You should have a standard spiel, and that spiel should include information gathering questions. These are questions such as, how does your dog react around other dogs? Do they play? Do they avoid? Do they snap? Do they get overly excited? Do they get nervous? Whatever it is, you want to gather as much information as you can, and you want to say it in ways that are open-ended questions, such as, how has your dog reacted in the past when meeting other dogs? How has your dog reacted when meeting a larger dog or a smaller dog or particular breeds? How has your dog reacted when dogs have tried to play with them? You really are trying to get the customer to just talk. You want them to talk as much as they possibly can, because the more they talk and the more you shut your trap after that question or ask more deeper probing questions as you go, the more information you're going to learn, not only about their pet, but also about them and their attitude. And if they're open-minded or not to feedback on how to maybe correct some bad behavior that you might pick up on during an evaluation or a meet and greet. So this is how you gather information at the meet and greet so that you can make sure you are accepting a pet within your client roster that is the kind of pet you want to work with. There have been plenty of times where I asked probing questions and they ended up giving me all these stories about their dog meeting somebody or overly reacting at the dog park and getting into a fight. And this helped me to stay detached to the outcome, because after they left, if I said, okay, I'm willing to work with this dog and try to see how it goes, or maybe we'll do some like training sessions that are shorter with a smaller pack of dogs here at the time so I can ease them into this situation and make sure they're going to be okay in this situation. This way, I know that if the customer leaves the meet and greet and chooses not to book with me, it's not a huge loss. It's in fact leaving room for another client whom I might not have to work so hard for. The third tool in the toolbox of making sure you stay detached during meet and greets is to ensure that you have an idea of your schedule before you go into the meet and greet. You want to make sure that you are not over promising or double booking yourself or squeezing them in because they really prefer this day versus that day for a drop-in or a dog walk or daycare. If you say, for example, like I have daycare, I only have daycare 3 days a week. I have a recurring revenue system membership, so I have an exact number of dogs that I know are coming regularly every single daycare day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I know how many spots, if any, I have available on those days. If I have a meet and greet customer come and they're really interested in daycare and I only have one spot available on a Wednesday, then I'm not going to say to them, oh yeah, we can take your dog whenever you want. I'm going to know my schedule before that meet and greet begins, and I'm going to be very upfront with them that I only have one spot available on Wednesdays currently. This again keeps you in a position of power, but it also keeps you in a position of detachment because you're not bending the rules. You're not overbooking your occupancy or your capacity because you just want them to book with you so bad. So if you know going in that you have this spot available on this day and that's it, and you can tell them confidently and matter-of-factly but kindly that this is all you have available, then chances are if they really want to work with you, they are going to, again, move mountains and adjust their schedule to fit the needs of your schedule because they want to work with you and you only so much. Not only that, but there's also a cool little psychological thing going on in the background here that is really powerful and most people don't think about. And that is instilling a sense of urgency. What you want to do, using my example, I already stated, if I only have one daycare spot available on Wednesdays, not only do I tell them, hey, I only have one spot available, it's on Wednesdays. That could change, but I have no idea when it could change. If you want a different day, I can put you on the wait list. And if you want to think about it for a few days, then I'm going to need to know by the end of this week, or by the end of tomorrow, or by the end of whatever day you need to know by. Don't give them a whole lot of time. Give them 3 days, maybe max. When you do this, you're creating a sense of urgency. If you don't create a sense of urgency, you're more likely to end up losing that potential customer because they have no sense of urgency to make a decision and take action, and the excitement wears off over time and they go, it's okay, we don't need it, it's really not that important, and then they don't sign up with you. What happens when people don't have urgency? The decision sits in their mind like the Amazon items that are sitting in your saved for later cart. But what happens when the Amazon item that you're looking at has a little ticker that says best price ever, best price in 1 year, discounted by 44% today for 2 more hours only, and there's a ticker. It's counting down. You're like, oh, I better get that now and purchase, right? You're not sticking that into your save for later cart to come back to 6 months later and be like, didn't need that, delete, right? When you tell your customer, I need to know, I can only hold this spot, this available spot, I can only hold it for you for 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, then they know they have an urgent decision that they have to make. And this is when you create a feeling of urgency, and at the same time, you can detach from the outcome because you know that if they don't sign up with you, then in 2 or 3 days, whatever you told them, you can give that spot to someone else and not hold on to it for somebody who might or might not actually book with you. And the last tool in the toolbox of detaching from the outcome of meet and greets is to create a criteria list. What this is a list of characteristics or details that you want the pets in your care to be. For me, for example, if you've been listening at all, it's dogs 35 pounds or less. It's dogs that maybe has social anxiety but not aggression. It's dogs that might have a little bit of reactivity on leash, but again, not aggressive. It's dogs that don't have any of those issues and they just come in and love to be with other pack members right away, and they're doing great right away. For you, it might be animals with lower energy. It might be animals with higher energy. It might be bigger animals. It might be cats. You can have a whole different list of criteria: size, age, health condition, breeds, you name it. This helps you, again, stay detached. If that animal at the meet and greet doesn't quite fit your criteria list, then you're detached and you're not going to accidentally trip over your tongue and be like, okay, I'll go ahead and take them, even though it's a 6-month-old puppy who is bouncing off the walls because it's like an Aussie doodle and it's super duper anxious. And now all the dogs in your daycare are going to be flipping out and correcting this puppy all day long because you went off of your criteria list because you didn't have one. Not only that, on your criteria list, you can have characteristics and behaviors and preferred communication style or skills that you want your clients to have also. And I'm talking about the humans. Maybe you want to find pet owners who are super open to receiving feedback on how they can correct their dog's behavior. I know for me, that is a high priority. I refuse to accept a booking appointment from the humans that are clearly stuck in their ways and not open to hearing advice or tips on how together as a team we can help create a more balanced dog for them to have in their family and to bring to our pack. And the final tip is not really a tool, but it is something I recommend you do to help you stay detached after the meet and greet is over. Set up a reminder in your calendar to follow up with that person in X amount of days, whatever is appropriate according to what you told them. You want to follow up then, because if you don't set this reminder up in your calendar so that you can just set it and forget it, then chances are if you get anxious about the outcome of your meet and greets, you're going to be looking for this person to get back to you every single day. You're going to be checking your phone, you're going to be checking your email, you're going to be checking your software system if you have one. You're going to keep checking. Have they confirmed? Have they booked yet? Are they booking? Have they booked yet? Are they booking? Where are they? Why haven't they booked with me? Why haven't they gotten back to me yet? You're going to sit there and drive yourself crazy. And chances are you might even break down and reach out to them and go, hey, by the way, I was thinking about this, and if you want, I'll take off $10 a day or a night or whatever, right? If you want, I'll stay longer than I normally do for the same price. I won't charge you extra. No, you don't want to crumble. So before you crumble, put the reminder in your calendar. Set it as a notification to remind you to follow up, and just let it go. Let it go. Out of sight, out of mind. Don't pay attention to it anymore. And every single time you get that little monster in your head saying, oh, I haven't heard from them yet. Oh my gosh, are they going to book with me? I don't know if they're going to book with me or not. You have to remind that little monster that you have a follow-up appointment set, and you will deal with it then. And you can follow that little reminder with whatever happens is always happening for me. If you live by this mantra that everything is happening for me, then everything becomes a lot easier to detach from. The definition of suffering is not accepting things that you can't control. You cannot fully 100%, you can influence, you can give it your best shot, but you cannot control the decision that people make. You cannot control whether people are going to ultimately book with you or not. You have no idea what else is going on in their world and why they might or might not book with you. And you have no control over any of it. The only thing you have control over is how you handle everything on the inside as it's happening. And when you let go by saying, whatever happens is happening for me, then you'll see that it always flows right into place the way it's supposed to. Think about this. If you're freaking out that somebody's not going to book with you, and you finally go, okay, whatever is happening for me, and they don't book with you, and then you find out they book with Georgette down the road who has a little doggy daycare or something, and a couple months later, there's some gossip that there was a dog bite and fight and everything, and it happened to be that dog. I mean, you never know, right? It could be saving you from a dog fight breaking out or losing that dog or whatever the case may be, whatever the pet is that you're watching. You have no idea. Maybe they turned you down and it was a cat sitting thing. Maybe some other pet sitter goes in there and finds that the cat has died in its sleep or something, right? Like, that would be so tragic. Just trust that the universe, that your angels, your guides are working on your behalf, and accept whatever it is that comes and goes, knowing that it's all happening for you. By practicing these methods, having these tools in your toolbox, you will be much less attached to the outcomes and enjoy your business so much more, beyond attracting the clients that you want to work with and repelling the clients that you don't. I hope this helped you. If you like this video, you got anything out of it, please hit follow. If you don't follow already, hit the thumbs up and or share it with somebody you know. I'd love to hear your feedback and comments of what it is you struggle with in the comments section. And we can't forget, happy tails to you.